Morning guys. So had to go drop the wifey off at work since her battery in her car is deciding to not be a battery anymore. And with things going on at the apartment, I'm just kind of out running around. I decided to go ahead and do some toy hunting real quick. I've been after a couple things, and so after checking my local Target, they didn't really have anything new. Decided to come down here to the Woodlands, check out this Walmart, because I've heard that where the cap has been in stock in the area, but nobody's posted specifically here. And after digging through the pile of legends, finally got him. So, and yeah, he's definitely like the best Captain America sculpt so far, body-wise. I mean, like, honestly, his paint kind of sucks, but I think I'm going to dirty him up anyways. And of course, he does come with the shield, and they got a little smart. They hid Mjolnir behind the shield so that people probably wouldn't be stealing it. Although, if you're going to be one of those assholes, odds are you're just going to open it up, steal Mjolnir, put it back together, and then call it a day. Probably steal the Captain America head, the other one. But actually, that head looks like it would go really well on the quantum suit cap, because that head makes no sense. That's on him. But I'm gonna roll down to the Target down here, see if they've got anything, because I know some places are already getting the new Black Series Archive wave with Darth Maul and all that, so I'm gonna go check that out. And then maybe, I know GameStop locally got the newest in-game wave, so maybe I'll swing in there and pick up that War Machine if they have that one. So toy hunting is not fun. Plus, I'm just trying not to be at home today because there's gonna be crap going on. So, yay for that. Okay, so I've been to another Target. Didn't really have anything. Been to a couple Walgreens that didn't really have anything. One had no Marvel Legends or DC Multiverse at all, so I'm guessing they just stopped carrying them. So I'm now back around to another Target in Magnolia, where I found some cool stuff that if it wasn't on clearance I wouldn't bother with. So some of the Funko Season 1 Stranger Things characters. Now, years ago, I found the Chase version of 11, so I've had that sealed in box. So I got all the other Season 1 characters on individual cards. So there's your Will, your Lucas, Mike, Dustin, everyone's favorite, and even the non-Chase Demogorgon. I wish I had the Chase Demogorgon. The only thing they didn't have was the standard 11, but they're on clearance for like $4 each. So I'm like, why not? And I'll have pretty much most of the set. They did have the big Demogorgon on sale, but I don't need that. So these little guys I can always hang on a wall or whatever. And later on down the line, if I want to open them, I can always put them in a little bitty shadow box. There's a GameStop right down the way here. I'm going to stop in there, see what's going on, see if they have anything new, if there's anything I can't live without. And then I guess I'm going to go home. If nothing else, I can always finish up my Tolf installation, which I'll show off whenever I get home. But I'm just, right now with all the dumb stuff going on with the water leak, I don't feel like being at home. So, and I gotta pick the wife up later on when she gets off work, since her car is at the house. And given that the weather's gonna be, or supposed to be, nasty off and on, I didn't feel like trying to change her battery out. But right now, things are okay. There's even blue sky over there, but don't want to speak too soon. So, check back in after GameStop. So, GameStop right here, did not have any of the Marvel wave I was after, but I found something that I didn't realize I was going to buy until I had it in hand, and something that we just talked about the other night on a live stream. New Dragon Ball Superstars, or whatever you want to call them. So you got Super Saiyan 2 Gohan to go with the Cell we've already gotten. We got the brand new version of Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, who comes all pre-shaded and stuff. It's a little bit weird. face sculpt actually looks decent. Like, it looks like they've really worked on it, but the hands and stuff are still kind of stupid. But that works out well because I've got the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, which honestly doesn't look quite as good. And then last and certainly not least, Kid Buu, or as they call it, just Majin Buu, final form, who needs a little bit of shading, like just to highlight like the holes in his body and stuff like that, but he looks cool, and he's got a couple extra hands. And these don't have a Build-A-Figure, but here's crazy. Okay, so, and whenever we were looking at stuff up, I didn't think any of it was real. So the first wave was those guys. Second wave, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, Broly from the movie as a figure, not a Build-A-Figure, and then an Android 18. So basically, I'm going to end up with this entire wave, or this entire set. I think it's crazy they're going to offer Super Saiyan Broly from, or just as a regular figure instead of a Build-A-Figure, but we had to build the last one. So it's kind of dumb. So they're like, hey, new movie stuff, Android stuff, and Buu stuff all at once. We do need a fat Buu. I think that would only be fair, but if I get that 18, I have to get the 17, which is also out. So I need 17 and then Super Saiyan 3 Goku. They never gave Super Saiyan 2 Goku, so I guess they're gonna have to work on that. And then a Buu Saga Vegeta, with a Majin Vegeta, even probably. More than likely, that's what they'll do more than anything, but it's pretty cool. I dig it. So I wasn't planning on buying these, but had them in hand. You know, might as well. And yeah, I spent more money today than I wanted to, and yeah, it's kind of depression money, but I've got stuff in savings right now. That's basically what I'm spending. So time to head home, see what's going on there, see if I have a big hole cut in the ceiling yet. Probably not yet. And then I'm just gonna work on getting the last couple Tolfs relit and rewired and just get that squared away, stuff like that. If you guys actually want to see reviews of these, let me know in the comments, because honestly, the last few that I've reviewed, most people didn't really watch. It had like 45, 50 views, and out of over 4,000 people, that's not quite a lot. So that's why I haven't been reviewing these things. That's why I got a few more, just opened them, a lot of figures, just opened them, put them on the shelf, played with them, took pictures of them actually. So I mean, maybe what I do with these, just take pictures, post them up, stuff like that, instead of reviewing them all. But right now I can't review anything because my room is a tragic mess until I get my Tolfs squared away. So time to go home. Okay, so now back home, obviously. So I wanted to show this because you guys have, if you followed long enough through the vlogs and stuff on the channel, that we've had issues with water before. So yesterday on Father's Day, we come home. I got to go right to the bathroom. Miss Shoky's sitting out here. I come out and she's like, I come into the kitchen to get some tea. And she's like, baby, why is it so dark in here? And we look up and the light fixture, as you can see here, it's all gunked up. It was about quarter full of water, and like just nasty looking brown water. And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, what now? So I don't know if you'll be able to see it with the lights on, but right about there is all wet. So that's where the water was coming from. But you can see here, this is the like joist that holds the ceiling on. And of course right there, I cut that because I could see that my water was kind of accumulating there. So we called the maintenance, or called for a maintenance emergency. About 35 minutes or so later, maintenance guy showed up, thank God. It's Father's Day, it sucked to have to, do that, but you know, when you've got a problem, you have no idea what's going on, especially when it's water. You don't really want to take any chances. So he very quickly ran upstairs. Unfortunately, the neighbors were not home, so we couldn't, see what was up. He got in there, because maintenance guy, and discovered that it was their water line for their dishwasher was leaking. Like, so there's a cutoff valve for it. and it was loose and all the, either way. So he tightened it up to where it wasn't dripping anymore. And it wasn't like a spray, it was just dripping constantly. So it could have been dripping up there for like 10, 15 hours and then just finally accumulated to the point that it just came out. So the scary thing is we don't know how far the water goes, or went, I should say. So I know that it got at least to here. So I know it got here at very least. These look like a couple of water spots, so this area might need to be cut out. So it's entirely possible they got to rip out a good chunk of our ceiling, like from here across, and and they were supposed to come by today and reevaluate it, maybe even cut a hole, see what's going on up in there. And because I'm using that tub there to try to catch water, just in case, I had to move all the pile of toys and stuff I got that were in that. So it's a mess. So instead of coming home last night and finishing my tolfs, which was the plan, I had to deal with that instead. So like I showed off in pictures on the Facebook, I installed some new lights right here. So I had two lights in here back in the day. One burned out as soon as I moved it. Like I moved it from one side to the other. Some of these LED bulbs are so kind of fragile that if you take them out, like just the twisting them will cause a short. So I went ahead and got hair in my mouth. Went ahead, loaded it up, so now I got full on brightness in here, which makes a massive difference. I'm sure you guys can see that from the video the other day. But I got these done and these done, and I got started on this one. So this one has some of the new lights already mounted, so I still got to do these two down here. So these now have the remaining white lights, and I've still got, okay, so these are the white lights, and I don't know, I'm gonna have to really look into it and determine which ones are which. So like this says dioder sup number 16670, something like that. Let me look at the one of the new ones. Hold on. Okay, so that says type L1324. This is type L60607. So I don't know if that really is the difference. That's why they're white or they're yellow. So I made sure that when I went this time, at least I grabbed a matching set, though I didn't know what the difference was. Because you just look at it, there's no difference between this and the other one other than style. Like they're just slightly different, the way they connect and stuff. And the actual power cord and all that is different as well. But that's also updated, changing and stuff. So what I'm going to have now is two sets of white lights and then four sets of yellow lights. Which I got to do the math here. So I got two more that I can do. So it gives me one more detolf. That leaves a 3 at the end down there with no lights. So that means I would need two more dioders. And I wanted these 3, so these 3 here to be plugged in down at this end, and then all the rest down there, if that works. Okay, because yeah. No, sorry, these 6. I had to do the math. So it's 3 sets of dioders. So there's 1 set, 2 set, 3 set. So these 3 will be on the plugs that are down back there, which I've kind of tried to neatly hide away. And then the rest will be on plug on that end. So you guys know that I've got the remote here. So right now I hit 1, but nothing's plugged in, so it doesn't click. So I unplugged all the lights down there. But I hit 2, and I get all the lights I just put on. Except for... Did I not plug that one in? No, that one's plugged in. Why is it not on? Oh, duh. I forgot. These... I'm done. Those aren't actually routed to anything yet. So, the ultimate goal is to sync up, because I know I can sync up the remote switches. So, you know, I've got the 1, 2, 3. I know that you can program more than one on a thing, or I'm just going to hit 1, 2, and then they both come on. I guess I can hit them both at the same time. And I'm going to redo the right angle plug that I've got down there. So, that's what I'm going to take care of today, because I need to get... So here's the mess. So as I get things straightened up and finished, I can put boxes back up here. But because I still need to run the power and stuff from the last one over here to this side. Sorry, I'm blinding myself. So the power from over here to over here, I can't really load too much up there. And you can see I've got some of my 00 MGs up here out of the way while I was putting on the lights. One other thing before I go, at least for now, because I'll check in later on. I have had so many problems with this particular shelf. This light, and at this point now, that is an older one. It's not a new one. Or, no, this is a new one. This particular light has not wanted to stick. You can see I've got multiple sticky things there. Would not attach to the shelf. Like, it's almost like there was enough tension that it was just constantly pulling it down. So now it has basically four command strips holding it in place, and now it's finally staying. But if anybody's followed me long enough, you knew that this shelf in particular, right here, with the double O's down here, kept having one fall down. It's the same thing. So I actually had some Velcro command strips originally, so that was holding them in place. And one thing that I've taken to doing after I did these first two, I'm actually using the metal clips that come with the dioders to hold them in place on the wooden shelf. So that way those aren't going to fall, and gives me more sticky strips that I can use later on. Whenever I attach them to the billies, I'm going to use the metal connectors to hold those together. Which I still don't know exactly how I'm going to do those just yet. Because frankly, everything is in the air right now, or piled along here. And for those unfamiliar with the dioder sets, so there's your power cord. It comes with a weird, very strange arrangement there. There's your normal switch, and it runs over here to the little branchy deal. Has a normal little plug, and you branch your lights out like that. And then, well, it's funny because these little ends here seem to have been the same across the generations, from what I can tell. So, say I wanted to rig up these two over here with the new lights. In theory, I could just use the original power cord and just plug them back into the new base. In theory, that should work, from what I can tell. So this is a brand new one. Where's one of my older sets? I don't have one laying around at the moment, but either way. So, you know, in theory, one could do that. So, one thing I kind of wanted to do, if it would save me some time, because I have the wires run for that particular Tolf. If I just replace the light... Oh wait, no, I think that light's a different generation. Because that's another problem, is like the different generations don't necessarily match up connector-wise. But if the power connectors are the same, then I'll do that. I'll just switch out the lights and put in a different connector and call it a day. Something like that. That's the biggest problem. But I wanted everything to be a bit cleaner, a little bit more organized. Use another whole power cord. I mean, like, the lights are... I don't mind the yellow lights because they add a warmness. But I liked the cleanliness of the white lights. But I guess the white lights will look good there. I wish I knew in box the difference. So, but right now I think I'm gonna go find something to eat real quick. and then I'll get to work. I'm trying not to do that thing where I sit down and start watching YouTube or something like that and just get really distracted and accomplish nothing. And really, I've only got a few hours to get work done because I have to go pick up Miss Shoky and all that mess. So it is what it is, but I'll check in later on after I've made more progress. Because the other thing is, I've got Gundam kits over there, up here, all down here. So once I got everything lined up, I can cram them back in the shelf. And I was trying to reorganize a bit. So right now I've got the Xeon shelf happening right here. This one light is kind of dim. It seems dim. I guess it's not that bad. So that light seems dim. I don't think it is. I think it's just the way it looks. But I'm thinking about moving, because see, I've got Thunderbolt shelf there, the Miss Shoky shelf for the most part, but I think I'm going to reorganize that, make a Xeon shelf, and then Build Divers shelf or Build Fighters shelf from that. Then I've got all my GUC stuff down there, so I might separate all that out into Fetty and Xeon. So this might be a mostly Xeon shelf if I can pull that off. Which I might be able to, just depending. I gotta look across the things. And then move my SDs to a different shelf so I can have almost all of my 00 stuff in a single shelf. Clear out all this IBO stuff that's in the bottom and start working on a IBO specific shelf. I'm going to have a whole shelf just for my Musha Gundam, so that might actually be what I put right here. No, because it's 00. I'm going to have to do a wing detolf, so that might be there, but I don't know. I've got a lot of different spots, but I got to get that Musha Gundam on its own shelf. And I did damage the setup just slightly yesterday. Some stuff was falling over, but hopefully it's okay. I'm just rambling. I'm going to go. Alright, so progress a little while later after I ate lunch and whatnot. So I kind of did what I was discussing doing. So the generation of light that was in here is the same as the one I have, obviously just different color. So I left the wires without changing it out. I did add the clips and just plugged in the new light in instead. So now that's wired in for a different light. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same thing on this one, but I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and remove those lights because I need to just keep moving forward. Also, something I'd forgotten about that will help me out with my billies, these things can be connected to each other directly, except the sticky things are sticking together. So gotta be careful not to do or accidentally bump those together. So, and here's something. So remember I was complaining about that one never sticking? These stuck so well I ended up tearing the foam that was holding them together and even not quite clearing all the crap off. So, but I think ultimately what's going to happen here is the last one I just wired up right here, which is the last of the new lights. I'm going to go ahead and pull the plugs on it and just wire it to the new one, which is right here, and clip the things that are kind of tying it to the next one over. I'll leave that one wired as it is, and I'll wire up the next one. I'm like, just go ahead and get it set up for whenever I get the next lights in there. So I'm gonna basically be borrowing half the setup that's already there, you know, basically. So get it all just wired up, so whenever I buy the next set of lights, it'll be good to go. And then with these guys, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I can put them up in the billies up there, like woo, right there, and I'll have four full long bars, so that should give me at least 4 shelves that I can light up. That'll be neat. And I can do that off a single power source. So yay for that. I'm tired already. I'm not going to go ahead and do that just yet because I'm going to have to drill holes and I can't really get behind the billies as of, well, kind of ever. It's like, so if I do that, I'll have to be able to get behind the billies and run the wires and stuff like that. I have the plug, I have the outlet and stuff behind that wall, which I feel like I need to maybe modify a little bit now. But these guys are so full and they're already bolted to the walls and stuff like that. So I'm gonna progress with this, get this last one wired up totally, and then I'll have the Tolf wall done for the way it is. So hours later, okay, maybe not hours, maybe an hour, but I had to do some reorganizing. So ultimately, the lights are done. So the Tolf wall, as it is about as complete as it's going to get until I get another set of lights. But because I still had the pre-existing lights run to this cabinet, I went ahead and connected the extra wires from the kind of half set I had here, and went ahead and pre-installed everything there. And I reversed this door because originally this swung the opposite direction and actually made it nearly impossible to access. That was bad planning on my part. And if you guys have never done Tolfs, it's super easy to swap things. You literally just turn it all around and flip it upside down and put the handles on the other side. So basically what it's going to come down to is getting two more sets of lights. Sorry. Since this one's already pre-installed, one will go here, and then the next two will go there. Now, I'm very confused as to how I did this, because I still have the connectors for a set of lights back there, and I believe it's one of the older sets. Or rather, it's the connectors for these lights here. So the other white ones, but with the older end connection. So I think I dropped it back there when I was reorganizing it, because now there's just a buttload of wires behind the Tolfs. That's just how it goes. Actually, you can see right here, I need to get back in there and tighten that zip tie up a little bit. That one's actually okay. So when I planned it and I dropped it behind there, I thought I had it tighter than I did. I did not. So in reality, what I need to do is, there's a plug, or wire I should say, sitting pretty much right behind here. Maybe I can remove the old one, but I think I can get this, or old one, the last one down there. Might be able to pull that out and get to that plug, but I'm not sure. But for now, 3/4 of the Tolf wall is done. And I don't know how I did. Hold on, let me see here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it is 3 full sets. This is where it gets confusing, because I gotta remember that each set of 4, or each, like 2 Tolfs is a single set of lights. That's the confusing part, because you know they come with 4 wires, but I've split it between 2 Tolfs. Later on down the line, if I double them all up so each shelf has a light, then it'll become a different story. But these last 2, so now I have it wired to where I've already got, and this is the thing I gotta get in my head, I already have these 2 right here pre-wired, ready to go. So all I have to do with the next set, just insert the lights. That's it. And then the one at the end will just be kind of by itself until I feel like doubling up the lights. So I'll have an extra set of lights, like actual light bars. But that means I'm now going to have a spare outlet and distribution block and all that stuff, because I've left this one back there. Like I said, I still need to get the other one out, because it's the one that goes to that set that I want to put in here. So confusing. And so, like, I gotta plan it out. It's gonna be weird, but I gotta plan it out. But the cool thing is, doubling them up like this, and you only have to plug in one end, so therefore you actually can get an extra set. So I could get, so if I buy, let's see, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 6 sets, so to speak. But I can actually split that between only 2 power outlets. unless I chain it, but I don't feel like chain. There's no good way to chain them together, because they give you one so that you can do a like square around the top. So they give you these little extra parts. Never really going to use those for anything. Now, if I was running my own set of wires, then I would do that. You know, get the lights mounted, run the all new set of wires to wherever I needed them to go. I could do that, but I've already got a lot of feet of wire ready for it. So I think in the end run, when I get ready to light up the billies, that's what it's going to take. I mean, I could put the lights there. I could actually do the business and actually put the lights in place, the ones I've got. But once again, these are white, not yellow. So whenever I go back to IKEA here in a couple weeks, I need to make sure that I get these right here. These 201 194 18s basically is what that comes down to. So if I get one of those, be good to go. I don't know if I'm coming down with something or my body's fighting something off. Since Friday, I've been dealing with what feels like something hanging in my throat. And for days I was trying to clear my throat, couldn't get it out, nothing like that. Turns out the thing hanging in my throat is actually my uvula, and my tonsils seem to be really swollen. I haven't gone to the doctor just yet. Tomorrow, Miss Shoky has to go get an endoscopy, so I've got to take care of that. I'll probably make an appointment for Wednesday, assuming it doesn't get any better. My throat's a little scratchy, but not bad. I think we have a bottle of Chloraseptic in there somewhere that might be able to help. But if it gets any worse, I might have to get my tonsils out, which is gonna suck. But for right now, I'm gonna try to take just a little break before I try to fish these wires out of there. And the other thing is, I need to put all of these boxes back up on top of the shelves where they go, or on top of the Tolfs. Now I've got a whole extra spot down there. That's always a plus. When you add a new Tolf, I get more spots to put things. And I am sweaty. I've had the AC off just because I'm trying to save power. It's not really that hot in here. It just, you know, bending over, doing a lot of things, working in a confined small space like that. You know, it just is what it is. I feel like I need to sweep up there. I've got like cobwebs. But guys, that's going to be it for this kind of vlog video of doing the lights. I think it looks good. I mean, I'm okay with that color as long as it all matched. I like the white. And once again, 2 more sets and I'll be good to go. Technically speaking, if I wanted to, I could leave those white. I could have left those white ones in there for the time being, but I didn't want to do that. So guys, like, subscribe, do all the dumb things. You know how it goes. Sorry I have not gotten a whole lot of reviews done lately. Like, I've got stuff set up there. I've got Geo been sitting on the review desk. I've got to start Anubis. Got to start in on this project. You know, now I've got to finish this up. And once again, like I mentioned earlier, if you guys want me to go back to start doing some of these figure reviews, let me know. I've got that Heat Blast version of Planet X's Grimlock. Could totally review that, but you know, I need to know from you guys that you're even gonna want to see that. And if I only hear from like 1 or 2, honestly, that doesn't count, so I'm not gonna bother. I need to know that you guys are really gonna watch it, you're gonna care, you know, because frankly, I've stopped reviewing anything for the most part except for Gunpla kits, and even those I'm falling behind on. I mean, do you even want to see the Kamen Rider kits? They're really cool, but once again, if only 50 of y'all are gonna watch it, I'm probably not gonna do it. So, but I gotta go. I want to get this cleaned up a little bit. I don't have the time or energy to reorganize all the shelves just yet, but I need to put away at least the ones that are sitting out, like the wing kits that are sitting over there. But I'll catch you guys later. Big old thumbs up, and remember, as always, shut up, coffee machine. Bye, guys.